in the UK and 7:30 p.m. in Belgium. And this is my regular show where we tour England with me. And as to help me do that, I have both the National Trust and English Heritage. Now I'm just waiting to go live. And in a moment, just give me a second, we should be live on Amazon Live. Now, the whole idea of these broadcasts is that I'm actually broadcasting out to Amazon Live, and you'll find a link to join me, hopefully, within the details that are actually on Facebook and YouTube. If not, if you search for me, you'll find me. And to confirm that I'm live, my good friend Chris has said hello from Belgium. Wonderful. Thank you, Chris. And we're underway. The show is on the road. This is it. We've begun. And we're going to be touring England using both the National Trust and the English Heritage. They're two sites, two websites, which help millions of people in the UK. That both organisations are funded by subscription, and their task is to maintain properties throughout the UK so that we can actually visit them. Now, if you become a member of the National Trust, which is about $90, then you can tour all National Trust properties. If you are a member of the English Heritage, which is slightly more expensive, then you can tour all English Heritage sites 365 days a year. And one of them, or perhaps more than one of them, Stonehenge, is in fact, you can go whether you're in the English Heritage or in the National Trust. And it just works so well. Okay, so let's just check over on Amazon. If I'm checking Amazon, which I need to do every so often, I'll put my finger up and say, I'm going over to Amazon, and Amazon is showing that I'm live. So I'm going to go down there and I'm going to say hello to anybody who's watching on Amazon. If I could spell this, would be good. Just give me a second. I'm not in a rush today, so let's get this right. And the other thing I want to do is I want to open up my text editor, file, open. And what I've done is I've written a little description of what's going on today, and I'm just pasting that onto the Amazon page so that anybody visiting, and I've got a hello from Chris who can actually see me live. So that's a bit of housekeeping, needs to be done at the beginning. I put a description in on Amazon which reads, today we're touring the English countryside, visiting castles, country houses and national monuments. Our guides are English Heritage and National Trust. I'll be sharing my stories of the places we've actually visited. Angoka and I are members of the National Trust, and that means that we can actually go out and about and visit National Trust properties. So where do we begin? I think now that we're successfully live, I'm going to share my screen. Now I'm in my BeLive studio. So I'm not broadcasting from OBS, I'm broadcasting from BeLive using RTMP, and I can come back to my studio and bring up on screen, if I can find it. Okay. And I'm going to go picture in picture. So this is the English Heritage website. Sorry, this is a National Trust website. And it says spontaneous days out. And the thing is that now we don't have to book. We can just go and turn up. And this is part of our summer. And summer is starting in the UK. It's going to be, well, we're in for a heat wave pretty shortly. And family can go out, and there are activities for children at all the sites, and they are around the country. Wherever you live in the UK, within England, there is going to be a place that you can visit, and it's going to be a place you can go for a walk. That's very important in terms of actually getting the steps. Or you can visit gardens, and these are beautiful gardens. And you're out in the countryside, out in the fresh air, among the gardens, among the bees, and it's just a brilliant experience. You can join and be a member, or you can donate, and they do amazing food. most of the National Trust properties have restaurants, cafes, where you can enjoy freshly cooked produce with the drink of your choice. And as you can see, it's a great advertisement for country living. And this website, which is nationaltrust.org.uk, and I'll post a link afterwards, is where all our National Trust journeys start. So I'm going to go back to the top of the page, and I'm going to go to Days Out. Okay, so I've clicked Days Out, and I'm going to go and say that I am in Wiltshire in England. If I type it in properly, just a minute. I could have gone by location, but I'm just going to go for Wiltshire and press the search. And it comes up with places we can actually visit. Now, these are arranged in proximity to us. And I say hello to Chris. We've said hello to, so let's bring Chris back on screen. Hello, Chris. And say hello to my good friend and broadcasting partner. Hello from Solihull. Okay, and we might have a look at the properties around Solihull in a moment. And John and Chris know each other, so they're saying hello. I always love it when conversations actually go from one to the other. Chris, if you could do me one favor, if you could post the link to Amazon, and then John might be able to find me there. That would be good. And please, Royal Stream National Trust English Heritage. Okay, and that comment is coming from Chris, and it's coming on Amazon Live. There are two separate organisations. English Heritage is basically to look after, how can I put this? They look after the castles. They look after things like Adrian's Wall. They look after stately homes, whereas English Heritage are mainly stately homes and countryside. So there is a difference between the two. There is overlap between the two, but they essentially preserve the countryside and the residences. Now, they are funded, as I said earlier, by subscription. So people actually take out an annual subscription, which allows you to go and visit any of the properties, and you can tour the country from wherever you are. And it simply works. Donations as well. What happens is that people actually gift properties to the National Trust and to English Heritage. I will find out a definitive answer for you, Chris, for my next show next week. So in the show last week, we went to Avebury, and that's a stone circle, like Stonehenge, but it's existed about the same time, but it's a slightly different structure because if we just go to Avebury for a moment, just to recap on last week, this is Avebury, and you can see the stones, and they're set out in a circle, but the circle radius is large because this circle of stones actually has a village in the middle of it with an inn, a public house, and private residences, and the stone circle continues around the perimeter, and it is from the same era as Stonehenge. It's not as well known. It is visited by the Druids at summer solstice and winter solstice, but there you are, what you need to know, and this is it. There is a country house which you can visit, which was featured on television, which is Avebury Manor, and you can visit the house and visit the gardens. You can have a tour around the grounds. There is a museum which has artifacts which were found around the henge. There is something for everybody because it's a great area for children to play. It is safe. It is walled and fenced, so it's a very safe area to take children. And it is a World Heritage Site. And you can go walking and running. And there are many, you can get a booklet, and that booklet tells you of all the walks around Avebury that you can actually take. Most of them are circular trips, so you can go out and come back within an hour or up to 3 hours, depending on where you actually go. And also at the moment, you can order your calendar which is of all the scenes around Avebury. There's the restaurant, and that's an actual photo. The restaurant is in a converted barn, and it's been refurbished in 2020, and it has a wide range of foods that you can eat in or take out. All National Trust sites have a shop, and this is the shop at Avebury, and you've got a bookshop, and you've got a shop where you can buy mementos of your day out, and you can go and check out the excavations that are done on Avebury Down, which is close to the circle. You can be taken on archaeological tours. You can learn about the countryside from rangers, and it is basically all the information that you actually need to visit the area is actually on the page, and you can download it to your phone. Let's go back to Chris. And Chris, you're a star. Chris has posted a link to Amazon Live. So if you go to Amazon Live, you will see me, but you'll see me in possibly higher definition than you're seeing me on Facebook. And over to John, and John is saying, thanks for the link, but Celia has got some work in the garden she wants doing, so I'm off to speak soon. So Johnny's out and about in the garden with his good lady. And over to Zahir, and Zahir, belated happy birthday wishes, Zahir. I was away on holiday when it was your birthday, and I was keeping away from Facebook and everything, being good for 4 days, and belated birthday returns, my friend. Okay, so we looked at Avebury last time we were here, and I'm going to go back a page, and we're going to continue our journey. So we've gone into the National Trust site, and it's telling us places that are near to us, and Avebury was one of them. Lockridge Dean, I've not been to. The White Barrow we've been to. We visited Laycock, just a quick run through of Laycock Abbey. This is Laycock Abbey, which was an order of nuns actually lived in the property. Then it became a private house, and it became a private house of Fox Talbot. Now, from one of the windows of the house, Fox Talbot took the first ever photograph. Now, back in those days, photography was not electronic, as you couldn't understand. It was done using plates. So he took a photograph, a long exposure photograph through a window from Laycock Abbey. He then went through developer and fixer, which he worked out. He was the first person to work this out, how to take a negative from a camera and turn it into a print. The print is on show in the Fox Talbot Museum, but this is where the first ever photograph was taken. And if you've got a camera, either it's on your mobile phone or you've got a DSLR camera, everything started at this one place in Wiltshire, England, Laycock Abbey. Now, the other thing that Laycock Abbey is famous for, as mentioned last time, is that Laycock Abbey is where part of Harry Potter was filmed. And if I scroll down the page, hopefully in the photographs, we'll be able to see, possibly, perhaps not. There you are. There it is. This is the, well, it was used to the occasion. Its appearance includes Harry Potter, Wolf Hall, Pride and Prejudice, and Fantastic Beasts, and the crimes of Grindelwald. And that was part of the production when they were at Laycock Abbey. Now, if you've got a bucket list of places to see when you visit England, then you must have Stonehenge, Avebury, and Laycock Abbey on that list, because they epitomise the best of English architecture and English countryside. So let's go back. So we did Avebury, Stone Circle, and Laycock last time. And the next one I'm going to go to, I don't know whether we touched on this last time, but just a quick visit to the Quartz Garden, which is about 20 miles from where Angelica and I live, and it's a delightful English country garden. And scroll down slowly and you'll get an idea as I do scroll down. It's dog friendly. It has a history of Avebury, of Laycock, and there's a guide. And again, there is somewhere to eat, there's somewhere to read, and there is a beautiful garden. Now, I've got a video about this, and I will play the video next week if I remember. If I don't remember, then please do remind me. But the Quartz Garden is a brilliant place to actually visit. I'm going to go over to Amazon, and thank you for actually watching on Amazon. And if you're watching live, thank you very much. This is a conducted tour of England, and these places I'm showing you are open to the public. And if you're coming to the UK, the best thing to do is to actually buy membership of the National Trust or English Heritage, and you'll be able to visit any of these properties anytime during your visit. And they're just amazing places to go. So we've been to the Quartz Garden, and the next one we're going to go to, we'll go to all of these eventually, but I'm going to go to Seymour. And again, these are all around where Angelica and I live. And I'm just getting one that I know. Bath Skyline, Bath Spa, Montpresson House, Whitehorse. Now, Wiltshire is the home of white horses. There are several white horses which are spread over Wiltshire. Or some were created in Neolithic times, some were created more recently. Right, the next place we're going to go to now is Durham Park. Now, Durham Park is, well, first of all, you can see at Durham Park a spectacular house, most of which is open to the public, and you can actually walk around there. The house itself is just off the M4 motorway. It's very easy to get to. You come off the M4, you drive for just over a mile, and you're down at the house. But it has the most beautiful grounds. Just a reminder that this is Durham Park. Now, the beauty of Durham Park, I'll come back to me for a moment. The beauty of Durham Park is, first of all, it is a brilliant place to actually walk. The home that we've just looked at, which was somebody's home, is surrounded by countryside. And you can go for a walk. As soon as you get there, you get out of the car, you've got your walking boots on, and you head off. Now, talking of, well, things that you need when you're out and about. First of all, the featured item at the moment, which I'm showing you, is the binoculars. And now the binoculars for seeing, well, basically, Durham Park has a herd of deer. Now, obviously, you can't walk up to a deer, you'll scare the herd and it will go off. But if you've got binoculars, then you can get close up to the herd of deer. And I can tell you the binoculars that I'm showing you today, 68.86 were 119.99. The other thing you need walking in the English countryside is boots. Now, it is boots on. This is walking boots on. And the countryside is just a pleasure to actually walk around. And I sort of put together 2 sets of walking boots, which will it will help you as you're walking in the countryside, because you can easily walk 3 or 4 miles, 8,000, 10,000 steps, just going around Durham Park. It's a great place to have a picnic. Angelica and I usually go over there and we actually take a picnic with us, and we pick a different spot each time. You can sit down on a fallen tree or on a bench if you want, and you can just sit, enjoy the beautiful vista, and just enjoy your lunch. Sandwiches and coffee, and usually cake. And you need a picnic basket to do that. So I put one of those in my carousel today. And if you're a hard walker and you want to climb the steep hills, then having a mountain pack with you would be good. You also need something to drink out of. And there are 2 flasks there, and this is the one that Angelica and I use. If you're traveling anywhere, then you need to know where you are at any point. Now, it's difficult to actually get lost on a National Trust property, but whenever we go out, we always wear our Fitbit Inspire 2. Now, I'm going to take this off for a moment. This is the demo part before we go back to the real show. Well, more of the show. This is a Fitbit Inspire 2. It's got a wrist strap. It just goes on your wrist. It fits all sizes of wrist. And basically, it does many things, not least of which is to count the number of steps that you do a day. Now, in terms of exercise, walking is probably the easiest way for most people. I'm not going to say everybody should do it, but to walk. And the Fitbit counts your steps as you go. And you can set yourself a target, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 steps, and it will measure how well you're doing. It'll also measure your heart rate, and you can track that over time. It tells you how many miles you've done. And if I click on mine now, it tells me the time as well. It's a watch. And it tells me how many steps I've done. And it tells me at the moment it needs recharging. So as soon as this is over, I'll recharge. But a Fitbit is an essential part of keeping fit, and I put 2 Fitbits in there, and I suggest. And the other thing that Chris and I have, this is the final bit, is when you're out and about, you need some earbuds if you're listening to a podcast. The National Trust site always provides you with a podcast about the places you're about to see. You can pick it up and then you just plug in your headphones. And as you're walking around, I know it looks strange, but as you're walking around, you can actually listen to the podcast. The other thing is, because these are bone induction, they don't fit into your ears. You can wear them for hours at a time, and I generally do. You can be listening to a podcast, you can listen to a guide, you can be listening to music. And they are just quite the best headphones that I've ever come across. Okay, let's take me off screen and go back to visiting Durham Park. Now, Durham Park is just off the M4, as I said. It's got a beautiful house, and we were fortunate to be there in 2017 when they had problems with the roof. Now, you can see it's a flat roof with chimney stacks. And in 2017, they decided that the roof was in need of repair. So what they did, they took the whole of the roof off, but they turned the building site into a visitor attraction. So you were able to go up by lift to the roof and get the fantastic views out from the roof, but you're also able to see what the statues look like. You get close up to the statues, and it was just an amazing experience. So the National Trust is responsible for the upkeep of the properties, and in 2017 they actually replaced that roof. And as you can see, it's nearly summer. Well, it is summer. It's children friendly because it is fenced, so children can run and play. And again, you have walking trails, and you can choose 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, and just walk around the property. Again, as we said earlier, they've got a wonderful restaurant cafe that you can stop off and eat at, and it really is a part of English history that you're visiting. And if you do visit and you are a member of the National Trust, then you're helping the National Trust to actually conserve the properties. And you can learn all about the work of the Trust at Durham Park, and the connections, in this particular case, the connections with slavery. We're quite open about how these fortunes. Yeah. The other thing you can do with the National Trust is you can actually volunteer, and you can volunteer to work at the property. Now, you could volunteer to work in the gardens, you could volunteer to work at reception, you could volunteer to be a guide. All of these positions are either volunteer or paid, and you could earn whilst you teach people, and you just see the magnificent scenery that there is at Durham Park. And then you've got the art collection. Now, a lot of the house owners in the 16th and 17th century went on the Grand Tour. Now, the Grand Tour could be as simple as going by coach around Europe, or it could involve travel to the Far East. And in this case, the owners of Durham Park at the time went around and collected things which they brought back to the house. And it just is the most amazing collection. So, Durham Park. So, we'll do one more National Trust property, and then we'll go up and find a castle somewhere. So, I'm going to go back. So, Durham Park, and I'm going to go to, right, I'll do that one next time. Let's go. Where shall we go? I'm looking for one. You can see all these beautiful properties. I'm going to say see more, and we'll pick one more. These are sort of semi at random. I'm trying to pick places that I've actually been to, so I can tell you a little about them. As time goes on, we'll visit more and more of these properties, and coming down to the villages that you can actually visit. They look after preservation of the villages and the cottages and the woods. So we're going to go over to, all right, okay. I found what I was looking for. Isn't that good? Come back to me. Full screen. One of my passions, one thing I love looking at, is mosaics, because the craftsmanship and skill that goes into creating a mosaic is just mind-blowing. Okay, so we're about to visit Chedworth, which is about an hour from where we live. And Chedworth is today a farm. But in Roman times, it was a house. And we're going to visit the villa at Chedworth. So this is the Romans in the UK. They came across, obviously, and they landed in the south of England, and then they spread out throughout England as far as Hadrian's Wall and into Scotland. And this is one of the places, this is where one of the, I'm going to say, landed Romans actually built his villa. And as you can see, you've got a modern day farmhouse, and it's surrounded by the Roman villa. And it is in the Cotswold Valley. It's one of the grandest Roman villas in Britain. We've been fortunate. We visited 2 or 3 times over the last few years, and every time it just takes your breath away, because there are ongoing archaeological digs which you can join in, and booking ahead and upcoming events. And let's look at the photographs. Now, I'm fortunate. Took my mobile phone. I've taken photographs, but here we have the mosaics, 5 must-sees at Chedworth Roman Villa. And first of all, the site itself, and then the mosaics, which are an integral part. And you can see, right, okay, for those of you who are into bathrooms, this is quite probably the earliest flushing toilet. Okay, now we went to Portsmouth. We were amazed yesterday. We went to Portsmouth Harbour, and there's a ship in there called the Warrior, and the ship, it's an ironclad ship, and it had the first ever washing machine on board. Not seen it, but it was, I know it was there. But this is the first ever flushing toilet. And then we've got steam, okay, because it's got a bath suite you can actually go into, and then there's museum, and then Battle for Souls, and we've been told still to actually book ahead. But Chedworth Roman Villa is worth a visit. It is a marvel. I'm just going to. Okay, shall we do that again? Okay, my apologies for that. And if you're still with me and still watching, thank you very much. We're going to go through that again. Okay, this is take 2. So you've heard me talking about it. Now you're going to see it. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the Roman villa, which actually surrounds the farmhouse. And this was uncovered piecemeal. And then they realized while they were excavating what an amazing place this is. And as you can see, this is an ongoing project to actually excavate the Roman villa. And they've got events which go on year round, and they have the most beautiful setting. And this is a cul-de-sac, it's a dead end, it's a one way. You've got to drive down here and then return. And you drive through a housing estate and then down a snaky, windy road, and you actually get to here. And it's a hidden gem. And as I said earlier, the mosaics, which you can see now too, are absolutely incredible. I mean, mosaics were designed to tell a story or to celebrate an event. And they've uncovered mosaics at Chedworth, which will take your breath away. And you can visit every part of the site and see the artifacts that have been recovered. You can see the mosaics. That's a beautiful mosaic. And you're traveling back 2,000 years to the way Romans lived. This is the home of a very rich Roman indeed. And I'm just going to hit that button, see if it takes anywhere. Okay, and there's the house again. And as I scroll down, okay, these are the artifacts that have actually been recovered at the house. I'm just going to make sure that this is on screen. Okay, it is. These are the artifacts that have been recovered in the area surrounding the house. You can see mosaics and statues and jewelry, all of which have been recovered on the Chedworth Roman villa site. And it is just a place to actually go and visit. It is just remarkable. I mean, as we're fortunate, it's close to us, about an hour away, and we can actually go and visit there. It should be. I'm probably going to give you the longest bucket list ever, but if you into Roman period and into looking at Roman artifacts and Roman mosaics and a Roman bathhouse, and well, the amazing thing is Roman plumbing as well. Romans had villas which were heated, and their central heating was powered by hot water running under each room, and it's an engineering feat. It's absolutely amazing because the water flowed all around the villa and kept it warm in our English winters. So Chedworth is a place to visit, and I'm going to stop that now. So we're going to leave the National Trust and we're going to go over to English Heritage and we're going to visit a castle or two. So just before we go there, if you have unmuted and you are watching, thank you. All the videos that I take, when I'm out and about, I actually shoot videos. And the videos use the gimbal, which is now the highlighted item. It just simply works. Take it out of the box, put your mobile on there, switch it on, you're ready to go. Don't forget to plug in your microphone. And I was fortunate to be, well, rather than talk about something, I'm actually going to go over here and we're going to take a slight detour. Over the weekend, Angelica and I went down to Portsmouth Harbour, and I'm just going to show you, the full video will appear tomorrow, but for now, we're going to look at a video which I took over the weekend, and I'm going to bring it up on screen. and it's going to be next to me, and I'm going to get this right. Okay, so you can see or not see a video next to me. What we're doing now is we're going to take a slight segue. This is England. We're still looking at England. We're still touring England. But this is a video shot with the home gimbal and my Android mobile phone. And I'm just going to show you the first minute or so of this video. And you're going to see the first ever ironclad ship that was built. It was built in the UK and it sailed across the Atlantic to America. And it is a famous warship. It's called HMS Warrior. I'm going to hide for a moment, put the video full screen, switch my microphone off and press play. The video is on YouTube. You can watch all of it if you search for me on YouTube. Ironclad ship built in Great Britain, and it's steam powered, not sail powered. And we're just going to walk alongside to give you an idea of the size of this. Over there is a tower, 385 feet, I think. You can actually go up in a lift to the top, but we're concentrating on the shipping today as we're at the dockyards. Welcome to HMS Warrior, Her Majesty's ship Warrior, or His Majesty's ship as it was when it was commissioned. And this is just an amazing place. As I pan round, we're actually, the estuary is over there, and we have all the buildings on the right. As usual, I'm broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and my website, live from Portsmouth in England, as Angelica and I do our tour of Hampshire. Okay, so I'm trying to avoid people. And hello.
Are you going on board?
No, we're not.
No,
Okay. I think you're not allowed to photograph on board, hence his question, which is a fair one. Today we're just taking a walk around the dockyards as opposed to touring the facilities. It's wonderful because you can actually get onto the dockyards for free, which is what we've done today, and you can walk around and you can film and nobody's going to stop you. So I'm going to go as far as here and then turn around and watch Angelica coming towards us, and we'll turn around and head back because we don't know what's going to come next. We've just done this part, so Angelica's going to follow me as I turn around. Hey, come here. Right, okay. So we've not been here before, so whatever we see next is a mystery to us as well as to you. But this is Portsmouth, which was the Now, as you can see, I'm going to go full screen for a moment. We were fortunate to be in Portsmouth Harbour. Now, Portsmouth Harbour, until 1995, was the home of the Royal Navy until they moved up to Scotland. And we've seen HMS Warrior, and that's the first ever steamship, and it's the first ever ironclad vessel, as opposed to being made out of wood. And next time we go down, we'll actually have a tour, but we can't photograph on the ship itself. That's not allowed, which is fair. Those are the rules. But we did tour the rest of the dockyards, and I was blown away by the sight of HMS Victory, which was Nelson's flagship in the Battle of Trafalgar. And if you join my Amazon Live broadcast tomorrow, we're going to play the full video. So you'll see that bit again, but you'll also see, oh, how cool. And Alan is saying, how cool, thanks for posting this. And thank you, Alan, and thank you for your comment. Yeah, we're very fortunate in that I can go out with my mobile phone and my gimbal, and I've got a plug-in microphone as well, and it's an Android phone, and I use an app called Astra Streaming, which is absolutely brilliant. but it's not on Amazon, so I'm not going to push it too much. But I can go out and about, and I can actually shoot, and I can walk around. As you can see, we have great fun walking around and enjoying England's history. We're very fortunate in the morning because we were given a guided tour of the docks by somebody who knows them intimately, and the old town of Portsmouth. We actually saw, because this is Portsmouth, where a lot of historically famous events have taken place. And in the late 1700s, 11 ships set sail from Portsmouth, and we saw the dock that they set sail from, and they sailed to Australia. Long journey, arduous journey, 11 ships full of people being taken to Australia. And this is when Australia was first colonized. From those 11 boats, millions of people have now gone to Australia. That's the start of the strong bond between England and Great Britain and Australia. And I'll show you a photograph of that in the broadcast tomorrow. But that's, as I say, the full video is about 17 minutes long. You've seen the first 2 minutes, but if you join me tomorrow, then you will see the full video. You will see victory, and you'll see a lot more things besides. So that's the show tomorrow. Okay, back to the show today. And I'm going to share screen again. And this time, if I hit the right button, I'm going to go over and I'm going to share a second site. And I'm going to bring it on screen. I'm in my BeLive studio. I'm going to hide the video because we don't need that again today. I'm going to go over to my screen share and I'm going to bring it on screen. And I'm going to go. Okay, thanks for bearing with me. Be worth it. I'm going to go picture in picture again. Right, we mentioned at the beginning of the show that there are two organizations, two voluntary organizations that look after English properties. And in the case of English heritage, that's very apt. Now you can see a map, and that map is, I'm just going to close that. I don't want to confuse myself, do I? Close that. And got it. I don't want to close the wrong one. I want to close that one. You can see on the map there, we've talked about Stonehenge. Old Sarum we'll visit at some point. Old Sarum is the first Salisbury Cathedral before the current one was built. Tintagel Castle is the legend of King Arthur, and we'll be visiting there virtually. Dartmouth Castle and Pendennis Castle. Okay, so the first question it's asking is, where are you? And I'm going to put in here, not Wiltshire, but for a change, I'm going to put in here Cheshire. Now, it's going to find us some places to visit. Okay, and hopefully it will recognize where we are. And we should down here be able to see a castle. Okay. Right, so we're being whisked away, and this time we're being whisked away to Chester. Now, anything that ends in Chester, Manchester, Leicester, a bit of a fetch, but it's true. Chester came from the Roman castra, and castra is a camp. So you've learned some Latin today. Castra is a camp. Castra is a camp. And Chester is the home of the Roman amphitheatre. Now, what you're seeing now is, and I wish they hadn't spoiled the photograph, but never mind. This is as it stands today. And you can see the grass mounds on which people would have sat, and there are probably seats under there. And then you can see the stage at the front, which is where the players would have performed. and round the edge, this is such a well-preserved Roman amphitheatre in Chester city centre that you can actually go and you can pretend to be at the theatre. Yeah, and just geographically, you can see that we are over on the left of that map. And I'm just trying to look. I think that's trying to find another photograph of this. And okay, we can't. But I think that's the best photograph I've seen of a Roman amphitheatre, which has been preserved over generations. It hasn't been robbed. People have not taken the stones away and built new houses. It's just an excellent example of Roman architecture. And it still comes to life today. There are troops of actors who tour the country, and one of the places they perform at is the amphitheatre. And let's go over to the castle. Okay, and hopefully we'll have, now we're not doing too well. Oh, that's better. No, we're not doing too well on the photographs. Okay, so there is a castle which you can visit. You can see the third photograph there is the portcullis and everything. So I'm going to go back again. I'm going to try and find a place. I'm coming down the comments on Facebook. Got the last one from Alan. Alan, thank you. I'm checking out Amazon Live. If you're watching on Amazon Live, thank you very much. And as you can gather, hopefully, I actually enjoy history and English history. And we're going to go down. I'm going to find one more place to visit, which I can talk about today. And Croydon, all these wonderful places, and show next. And in the next show, I'll let you choose where we actually go. But there is a magnificent castle. And if I can't find this, I will go and I'm going to go to the search and I'm going to see if I can find a castle. I've got a particular one in mind. So let me type in now the castle. Okay. Right. For 12 years, I was fortunate. All right. Okay. Okay. Think of a castle. I'm going to go and let's come back and we'll go this time to Lancashire, which is where I was born, and see what we've got in Lancashire. That's not a good spelling there. So let's try again. This is all live, by the way. As you can probably tell, I don't actually pre-plan this show. I'd rather ad lib and we can visit places at random. So we're off to Lancashire and going to go over to, all right, okay, let's go here. This is Sawley Abbey. Now, at the moment, Sawley Abbey is all ruins. It was an abbey. It was monks there. Oh, they're doing a photograph display. Absolutely brilliant. But this has memories for me because my youngest son, James, and his wife, Karen, held their wedding reception here. And after the wedding reception, we actually, all the wedding photographs were actually taken in the castle grounds or the abbey grounds. So this, to me, has very special memories. And it is not necessarily a place to visit, but a place to be aware of. So let's go back and we'll do one more English heritage and see what we can find. So all directory, and I think next week what I'll do is I'll find 3 castles. Let's come back to me. I will find 3 castles that we can actually visit together. courtesy of Linkish Heritage and National Trust. Now, if you have any questions about visiting England, then please do ask them. I shall get to all the comments that are made. I'm sort of happy for the comments on Facebook. I'm happy for the comments on Amazon Live too. I really enjoy broadcasting on Amazon Live. I am honoured to be able to do so. And I'm just going to go over to my iPad. In order to broadcast on Amazon Live, then you do need, just a minute, you do need an iPad. Said iPad is there. It's going to disappear. Okay. For those of you who are wondering, I'm just going to go here and click this. I actually have a green screen behind me, and I'm going to move the soft lights out of the way. And that green screen means that I control the globe just using my camera. And I'll give you an example of that. I use Expert VCam, and it means that I can travel the world and be anywhere. Let's try this one. Okay, and that is Bath, I think. And on final one, if I can find it. Yeah. I'm very fortunate to live close to Stonehenge. So we may visit Stonehenge from time to time, we may visit more than once. And I'm going to take it back to the background I had a moment ago. Okay, now I have a show on Thursday, which is Lights, Camera, Action. It's all about the technical side of doing this and how you can actually do that. One final featured item for today is, well, it's amazing. It's English castles, and it's in the featured item down in the Amazon carousel, and it currently is 38% off. It was over £70. It's now down to 46. So if you want to visit yourself, you want to visit the castles that we're going to be visiting in coming weeks, then you can use that book and find out a little bit about the history of England. I'm proud to live in England. I'm proud of our ancestry. I'm ever so grateful to English Heritage and National Trust who maintain the properties for us. I enjoy, as you just heard a moment ago, broadcasting Amazon Live. I'm just going to actually go over again and look at the comments. And the comments are coming from Chris. And Chris is saying, me too. Chris likes Roman mosaics. One of my dreams was helping the archaeologists with a metal detector. I've not actually done that. I would love to go metal detecting. And over to Alan again. And Alan is saying, it's a security feature that prevents photos on ship. Yeah, right. Okay, that's a good question, Alan. I think really because you're actually, the lighting is not good enough. Well, several things. One, security. Two, the lighting. And the three, they actually make money out of selling the photographs. So it stops all competition. And it means that you're not actually carrying an active camera on board. I'll check that out for you and I'll get you the full answer next week. But I think those are three of the reasons why it's actually done that way. Okay, so let's go back to here and I should be able to find, hopefully, it's not in my, I've got two carousels. I've got the one you can see below me and then I've got this one. So you've been watching today as I take myself off full screen. Okay, and I'm going to hide that one because we don't need that one anymore. You've been watching Touring England with Stephen, and tomorrow I'm live, and I'm just going to, I can't, I'm live tomorrow. I'll post the details in the next show you see on my page on Amazon, and tomorrow I'll show you the video, the full video of when we went to Portsmouth, and a couple of other videos that I've taken as well, and we're discussing how easy it is to actually go live when you're out and about with your mobile phone, and the reason you should do it. And the reason you should do it is this visit last weekend to Portsmouth was obviously personal to myself and Angelica. So it's a record of our actually being there, and it's a memory of the weekend. The second thing is we're recording Portsmouth as it was in August 2021. And the third thing is we're actually creating and recording history, because the video itself is now on YouTube. And if anybody now searches for Portsmouth, and in more particularly Portsmouth dockyards, then they will see the video. So you're helping people discover something which they may not be able to see. And that's why I enjoy watching travel videos on YouTube of places I've not visited, because you can learn a lot from watching a live video. And if you're in a position where you can actually make videos of your own town or city, or of places you actually visit, then do so. Shooting with your camera helps everybody. Right, okay, now these broadcasts come to a natural end, and I can see, oh, right, okay. For people watching on Amazon, thank you. What we're going to do is I'm going to play another minute or two from the video, because you've all stayed on, and I'm very grateful for your being here. So I'm going to bring the video up on screen and hide that. A reminder, this video was shot last weekend in Portsmouth Royal Dockyards, and we're on tour of the dockyards. We're watching shipping history, and I'm going to keep quiet as we put the video full screen, and I'm going to switch my microphone off and press play. So we're going to continue for a minute or two. Is an ironclad ship built in Great Britain, and it's steam powered, not sail powered, and we're just going to walk alongside. Good to give you. So we've not been here before, so whatever we see next is a mystery to us as well as to you. But this is Portsmouth, which was the foremost naval dockyard. We've just learnt earlier this morning that the first ships to leave England for Australia in the 1700s left from Portsmouth, and we saw the site where they actually left from. That's the first 11 ships to actually go to Australia, and that coincides with the founding of Australia, and it's part of history. And I did photograph it this morning, but I didn't have the video on, so you'll see photographs of that later. And you can see over on the far side is the train station, which comes in from Portsmouth. You can catch a train from here straight into London. It's very accessible. Also from here, Angelica and I were just talking about, we've been on the ferry from here across to France, and you can go on the Sea Cat or the hovercraft from here across to the Isle of Wight. And this really is a seafaring town. You can smell the sea air. And we'll go up to that welcome sign, and I'll give you an official welcome. Okay, I'm going to film film until I actually run out of battery power, possibly. But if you are watching live, thank you. I cannot see your comments at the moment because we are... Right, so welcome, how to navigate the dockyard. So, can you see the "You Are Here" sign? Possibly not. But we're going to take a walk around and see how far we get. And Angelica is just behind me, reading the signs. Okay, so I'm going to go straight up here. This area is still closed off. Until 1995, this was the official Royal Navy dockyard. and then in 1995 it moved up to Scotland. And perhaps Peter Stewart could give us a tour of the Scottish facility. And there's Boat Building and Heritage Skills Centre, teaching people how to build boats. I think I just got away with that. We had, as you saw there, armed police, and you're not supposed to photograph the police. So hopefully this video, well, it's going live, so they can't really do anything about it. But we're not supposed to photograph our police, especially when they're armed. You don't want to upset them. Okay, now, since 1995, this has become essentially a tourist. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I hope we're still broadcasting. My apologies for that. We enjoyed an amazing weekend in Plymouth and Portsmouth. I've got my words tangled now. Hopefully we're still broadcasting. We're still live on Amazon. I'd like to say thank you for watching this broadcast. I'm honoured to be on. Thank you. And over to Alan. And Alan is saying, Stephen, thank you. And I hope that basically you saw me talking and not saying much. That occasionally happens, as Chris knows. I forget to unmute myself. So my apologies for that. I'll be back tomorrow. And comments coming in from Alan. My hands won't move, but the comment will appear. And all right, thank you, Alan. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm live on Amazon Live this week, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, because I had the weekend off. So I didn't do any filming at all, any live videos. And people who know me know that that's totally out of character. I normally broadcast 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. But the broadcasts on Amazon are very special. So if you want to know more about country walking with Stephen, join me tomorrow. If you want to know more about lights, camera, action, and the kit that you should have to get the best out of going live, if you're a live broadcaster, join me. If you're thinking about being a live broadcaster, then join me. I'm happy to have been doing this for 6 years, thoroughly enjoy it. And thank you for your company today. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you on Amazon Live, Facebook, and YouTube, and LinkedIn soon. Sorry, I forgot. I'm live on LinkedIn. So thank you, LinkedIn. Thank you for watching. And I'm also happy to be on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube. And before I go too far, this is goodbye from Stephen in wonderful Wiltshire in England. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. That's a wrap.